Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
So, apparently, there were various protests called No Kings protests last week. Now, I'm not sure why so many people felt the need to protest LeBron James, but hey, this is a free country, and I hate that guy too. So, I'm okay with that, as long as they don't protest Queen or Prince. Leave Bohemian Rhapsody and Purple Rain out of this. And speaking of drama queens in purple chiffon and 6-inch heels, this is Dave and Juan. Respect my authority.
And 3.
Number 2.
With a 1.
Woohoo!
America. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah. Give or take. Give or take. Unless you caught the last one kind of late, then it hasn't even been 2 weeks. So,
Right,
hey.
we might be giving away, inside baseball information.
But we are back, and absolutely, you are.
You're welcome.
Very welcome, everybody. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you. Time stamping this. It's a Sunday, beautiful Sunday here in the Houston area.
Oh, it's pretty here too.
Yeah, it's very nice. Our skies are crystal blue. No chemtrails. Have you been seeing this? Have you been watching? Okay. Now this is something that started. People are posting this all over, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. About you know what chemtrails.
Yeah.
Okay, so those of you that don't, it's when you look up in the sky and you see planes that flew by, but then there's this white
Like
trail.
a street, basically. Yeah.
We didn't even know what they were. I remember years ago when I started seeing those things, and I thought, I guess that's atmospheric. It must be normal. And then over time, people started pointing out, no, we never had that. There's no such. We didn't grow up. Planes have been flying forever.
Yeah.
So it's some freaking government. I don't know what they're doing to us, Juan, but they're spraying stuff in the sky all the damn time. But apparently with the government lockdown, which, I tell you what, the whole world is shut down, right? We've been
Right. It's yeah. Thank you for reminding me that it's locked down.
When I got to remind you that the government is quote unquote locked down, it'll tell you. The people that are most upset about it, I guess, are government employees. But I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying, I guarantee you,
they'll get paid.
Hey, if Walmart would have been closed down for a couple, 3 weeks, it. You'd be feeling it, right? So anyway, the talk is that whatever, with the government shut down and people not getting paid and stuff, whoever's been doing these chemtrails,
they're home.
They're not getting that check. And bro, I'm telling you, like today and all week, these beautiful, it almost makes you realize, I don't remember the last time I saw just a crystal blue without ink. Because even on cloudless days, you always see those damn.
Right. There's always something. And I actually, before we even talked, I was sitting, in my living room today, and I looked out the door of the window and I said, man, the sky is like just gorgeous today.
People are sending pictures all over saying, isn't that amazing?
Sunsets are even prettier.
Dude, and listen, it's not that the planes aren't flying. Yeah. Air traffic is still going,
right,
y'all.
Yeah, right.
So, look, now granted, my list of conspiracies, I need a new tablet. I got so many. But, hey, now, where there's smoke, there's fire. Or where there's no chemtrail, there may be evidence that
something's not happening.
These idiots are, they're spraying us with.
So everybody needs to pay attention whenever, hopefully not anytime in the immediate future, but whenever the government reopens.
Well,
see if we'll notice them again.
It is interesting to watch. Well, like I said, there's the shutdown now. I have not, knock wood, and I'm jinxing myself, I've not been that impacted by it. The only people that I see that may have been impacted a bit are air travelers, because but only because the air traffic controllers started calling in sick and stuff, sort of a protest, which I'm to the point now of I don't know that we need those people anymore. I mean, automate all that. What the heck? AI, bring in AI and better radars, and you could probably have one air traffic controller doing the job of what 10 do now. I'm just saying. But and I guess TSA is might end up with a problem because I think they got their last paycheck. Now
Okay.
they're gonna get paid. See, here's
Right.
the deal.
Right.
That's one of these things too, guys. Yes, you don't want anybody. People are gonna get into
Right.
cash
And I get it.
crunches.
Yeah. Some people, yeah, you don't have that cushion. But so it is tough if you got to go a while without a paycheck.
If you're living paycheck to paycheck, as most of America is,
Right. But their income isn't going to be less this year because they're going to get paid.
exactly, they're not taking a pay cut. They're not. Now that said, and this is where it's interesting, and I don't know, you don't see a lot of coverage of it because the regular press is not going to put any kind of positive spin on anything that happens. But apparently, because of this shutdown, the administration has the ability to go in and start getting rid of people, not furloughing them, but riffing them, reduction in force,
Yeah.
and they're doing some of that because look, I mean, I know
Well,
we
that's
talk,
what I read. It was, they said it's an unexpected or an unplanned gift to Trump
yes,
because
yeah,
it's allowing him to do what he wants to do.
if and it's messy, this whole lockdown thing, and it all comes down to, and sorry, those of you, we normally kick off talking about the Saints. Well,
And much to talk about.
that's so depressing, and we're throwing a little bit of LSU to throw with that,
Also sad.
but also not quite. So we decided to start with a with a more upbeat note, and that's that's the lockdown, the government shutdown. And again, we'll say it again. If people have to remind you that there's a quote unquote shutdown, you have to start wondering.
Right. I had young guy I work with, he's mid-20s. He asked me a week or so ago. He said, what do you think about the shutdown? I said, have you noticed anything? And he said, no. I said, well, that's what I think about it.
Nothing. And and there's some folks that we are both friends. We talk about this. We're old guys, so we're on Facebook. We do Facebook. I mean, I'll punch into Instagram every now and then just to see what some of the youngins are doing. I don't even have TikTok on my phone. I don't.
I added it only because we're doing some TikTok stuff at work. I don't do it, but I just figured I'd look at it to see.
Right.
And basically what I watch on TikTok is AI videos.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Martin Luther King versus Hulk Hogan.
Well, I want to see that one. That was so we're on. I face people my age are basically on Facebook, and youngins can make fun of it. That's great. My youngest son doesn't even have really a Facebook. He doesn't do it at all, and I'm more power to you. Fantastic. Old people like us, that's where it's at. And we have quote unquote friends that aren't really friends. In fact, let me tell you a little bit, y'all. Juan and I guess we include Rick and our friend Rick on a lot of these group texts. We are friends with a lot of people that all we do is talk trash on them.
Oh God, yeah.
Feels bad. Sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I'm not. It's not being real Christian of me to.
But it's hard to not sometimes.
Yeah, and I've
And
decided
there's
that,
one particular that it's I think we could go a lot more off on that than
right. There's one person we know who is just he just can't get out of his own way, but
can't get enough of himself.
Can't get enough of himself, which is good. But I've just decided, Juan and Rick are like me. We wouldn't wish anything bad on anybody, but we enjoy pointing out what.
Right. Well, I'm gonna point one out right now. So I don't post a lot of political stuff. I'll post funny things that I think are funny.
Right.
And earlier I posted something, and I don't know if Trump ever posted it himself or not, or if it's a fake thing, or if it was current. But it's the whole thing. I want to thank all the protesters, the King's Day or No Kings protesters. I was worried that somebody was trying to take my my job, but thankfully I'm still your president. Yeah, typical Trump stuff. An old quote unquote friend of mine, I'm gonna call her out. Her name is Debbie. I'm
sure she doesn't listen to this podcast.
No, she won't. But I want you to send me this clip, and I'm gonna send it to her. But she was at Nichols when I was there in some of the broadcast classes.
That's when we all rode horses to school.
It is. And then she was older than us. Now,
wow.
Granted, she may have been 4 years older than
She
me.
must have rode a mule.
It seemed
we
like
upgraded to horses by the
right,
time we were
but when
gone.
you're 20 years old, somebody who's in their mid 20s in college
Correct.
seems, like they're 40. I don't know how much older she is than me, but she is.
Right.
But so she just and very liberal. And a few years back, she asked me because I'd make dumb comments on her Facebook and she said, please don't do that. And so I said, okay, you're right. I'm not going to do it. That's not fair to you. So I posted the thing. And now, granted, I have not seen this woman in 40 years. Not at all since Nichols. And her thing is, let him laugh all the way to hell. A real president might decide to do a little self-reflection, but he's incapable of that.
Ooh.
And so I commented, Deborah, just get over it. It's a freaking joke. Move along. And she said, you too. Biggest protest in American history. You keep laughing with the rest of the trolls.
Do you think that was the biggest protest in America?
Right.
Stop it.
I had commented,
Stop it.
I thought the one when your side was burning buildings and looting businesses was bigger, but then I deleted
whatever. You know, the biggest protest happened the election November. Those are the funny maps you see there. Hey, this rally was a little bigger. Hey, you know what? Okay, here's my deal. God bless America. And by the way, those of you that are not keeping up, yesterday was the second time they did it because the first time they did this no kings nonsense was when we were going to Alaska and we flew into Seattle and the hotel we stayed in the night before catching our ship was just a few blocks from where their protest / march ended. But and it ended up being okay. In fact, Seattle ended up being a nicer experience than I planned on. But yes, this is the second one they do. Whatever.
Yeah, so when did you go to Alaska? That was like at the beginning of the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that long.
No, they've done this before. They did this, a while back. Whatever. And I wish they would name it something else because it's just the name is silly, right?
Right. We got no king, so
that's the funny memes. The funny memes is a guy looking out the window, woke up this morning, looked out, still no kings.
Right, good job.
Nice job. You guys are doing it. So I get it. Whatever. But I did read something that this true, and it puts a point on it. Is that it's funny how one side can have all the protests they want, they can gather where they want, they can do whatever, and you know what? Nobody out there is worried about getting shot. Nobody out there is getting worried, is worried about police, doing any kind of. But put it this way: all these protests, the only way to get in trouble with the police is to do like one more round and think Chicago, like mess with the guy's horse.
Yeah. Nobody's getting tear gas. Nobody's getting rubber bulleted.
Hey, you got to be a special level of stupid to mess with a cop's horse.
Yeah, they don't take kindly to that.
Dude, cops will take. You got a better chance of messing with an actual cop.
Yeah, I've seen on Bourbon Street when the cops are rolling around on horses amongst drunk idiots who they do nothing to the drunk idiots. But if some dude slaps that horse on the butt, that cop will jump off the horse or use the horse to pin the dude against the wall.
Beat you down. But so anyway, what's the date today? Today's the October 19th. So yesterday was the 18th. So they did that. And some cities were kind of bland. I guess it looked like in New York, there's a pretty good crowd, but I'm never impressed by a crowd in New York. New York is crowded on a regular day.
Somebody showed, and again, I don't know how legit it is, but they showed like at 105, or showed a picture before one and a picture after one, and the difference. And they said that's because people stopped getting paid at
one. Went home. Yeah, there was a lot of paid people out there, and which would tell you a little bit about. So anyway.
But hey, I don't care. Protest all you want, but I can make fun of it or share a lighthearted moment about it.
But people need to. Call out some other stuff too, because I'm trying to. Here's the deal. So they had, and I saw pictures. Now, granted, and it's annoying because there are people out there who just have no. They got no heart. They got no soul. There's nothing, man. They got nothing but anger in them.
Right. Well, that's how I ended the conversation with this woman. I said, I hope you find some happiness.
Man,
because this is seemingly, causing you a lot of grief when it's just a little fun moment.
Well, it's or whatever. Just like, how about just be a grown up, man? I mean, here's what's funny. Well, again, I'm not involved in this one, and I wasn't on your thing. But if somebody's telling me, oh wait, we need a president that can with the self reflection, how much self reflection did Biden do? He
Yeah.
didn't. He I don't. I'm pretty sure the last half of his term, I don't think he knew where he was. How much self reflection was going on? You know,
Yeah, he may have been incapable of self-reflection.
that's another thing we kind of forget about the auto pen stuff, right? There's so many things that were like big hot topics. But the reason it goes away, by the way, is because the Republicans are, if whatever side you want to say is like the most dumb, evil, crooked side, the other side is 1A. Okay, that's the Republicans don't want to go after any of this because they're complicit in most of it, right? In most of it, the one that jumps out at me all the time now, and I'm glad people are doing this and they're showing because when you run for office, you have to give you don't have to give all the details of your finances, but you got to give a general idea, a range of what your net worth is. And they're showing more and more these congressmen, these congressmen, women, people, whatever you want to call them, that are going in with, and most of them don't go in broke, by the way. Most of them go in, but
No, you can't go in broke.
no, but they'll go in with maybe like the one I saw today was this woman from, I forget her name. But I think she went in and her assets were about $750,000, which, guys, seems like a crap ton of money to some people. It's really not. I mean, that's like a house and a few things, and depending on your age. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but
Right, it's not right. It's not chump change, but it's not. You're not retiring off of
she's
that.
been in office, I want to say less than like 6 years, and she's worth like $8 million now.
Yeah, yeah.
All of them, all of them. Dan Crenshaw, the guy here in Houston,
Dude,
best
that
stock
was the
picker in the world.
biggest sellout.
Okay. And I'm just glad that more and more people are pointing out what's going on. Oh, by the way, too, Bob, I swear to you, Juan and I did not plan. This was not where we were going with this conversation. But the other thing that sticks in my craw, too. You want to talk no kings? Fine. Here's the thing about a president. You can only do 2 terms. Ain't no king, y'all.
Yeah.
Ain't no freaking king, right? You get elected. Last guy I don't think was elected, but he got in there. Okay, but fine. All right, you got one. And if you get reelected, that's 8 years. You got to go. You know who doesn't have to go? Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Grassley. That dude's 182 years old, I think. He's a Republican too, by the way.
Mitch McConnell is probably just this side of the level of mental acuity that Biden was.
Mitch McConnell's falling down all over the place now. He's got a glazed look on his face. And you know what? Don't wish anything bad on the guy. And I don't know how much competence, how much of his wits he still has. Dude, you ought to be in Kentucky, sitting on the back porch, just, dictating your memoirs or having AI write your memoirs and out of there. The dude, there's no way in the world this guy has the capacity right now to.
Well, it just shows you the
anything.
value of the power. Because nobody on the Republican side, unless they've got a shoe in to replace him, wants to give up a seat or wants to risk giving up a seat.
Well, Kentucky's a train wreck, and God bless Kentucky because I got some really good friends that live there. And Kentucky is basically a red state, but it's not because you got Rand Paul, who I kind of like, but he's a little iffy there. You got Massey, who's kind of interesting, but now Trump hates him. They're going at each other. You got McConnell, who's basically a rhino. McConnell is, he's about money. He's all that. And then the governor of Kentucky is a Democrat who will be a senator. So whenever he runs for Senate, so Kentucky is going to have it. That's just flat out going to happen. Interesting, by the way. Oh, Louisiana ties here. You see, during the week, is it the Attorney General, a Solicitor General? Is that the same thing? Or anyway, the young man from Louisiana that was it was the Louisiana court case that was in front of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Because there have, and again, forgive me for not getting the proper terms here, y'all, but apparently, and this is something that even people who are commentators who I respect and I think are very smart admitting they didn't know, that we've basically had DEI districts across many states for years now. In other words, drawn up specifically, but that has been policy, like almost and to the point of if ever even the district that was drawn up was not going to produce the,
desired result.
They would change them, and the
Well, no,
estimates
that's
are
what they keep trying to do, a second majority black district in Louisiana.
that's what happened. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
and the district's like a snake. I think it goes from my dad's house to Shreveport,
Right,
without exaggeration. And if you don't know, my dad lives along Bayou Lafourche.
right.
So not a very contiguous set of neighborhoods, and not anything that's not dissimilar in its needs. You and I have talked about this before. I think all districts ought to basically be a square.
Yeah, exactly. It ought to like voting districts ought to look like a checkerboard.
Yeah.
That's where you live. Period. Period. And that would do a lot of good, by the way. I mean, that would be actually beneficial. You'd actually have people, and the other thing is term limits. That's the thing. I guarantee you, if they'd ever put term limits up on a national level, that would be an 85% of the American population want term limits.
Oh God, yeah.
You know who don't want term limits?
The people who's getting paid.
Not just them, because it's all their staff, it's all their family. That's the other thing, y'all. Oh my gosh, do a little scratching to all these politicians in D.C. and where their families work.
Right. Yeah, Hunter Biden wasn't the only one getting political gigs.
No, no, no. He was the Mac Daddy. He was like
He got the best ones.
he got those boards. That's what I want to be on, dude. I've never been asked to be on a board. I want to be on a. Why'd you cut me a 6-figure check to?
Yeah, I've been on boards, and the boards I've been on, do come here and give us some money and
Yeah.
volunteer your time. Ain't nobody paying.
So there you go. Newsflash, America. We don't have. And again, congratulations. We have no kings.
Right.
We have no kings.
If you're out there working hard yesterday,
That's right.
job well done.
And especially, but like I said, we do sort of have kings and queens, but those are Congress people. Let me know when y'all want to start protesting that. I will attend a protest for term limits. I will flat out, right? I'll be there for that one. But until then, let's do what we're going to do. And I was going to say there were some very vile gestures and very vile things at some of these. A lot of it around Charlie Kirk. I mean, people
I saw a
mocking.
video of that.
And I'm just like, what kind of hole do you have in your soul, man, that you would be mocking anybody like that? A young father murdered. We cover this. And one of them, you see the one Chicago, this heavyset woman. She's a school teacher, public school teacher, doing a very vile gesture, mocking
I saw it.
this. So
That's sad.
may she have the kind of rest of the year she deserves.
Exactly.
We'll take that for, take that for what it's worth. Other stories, but we just touched on real quick before coming up, because it's been 2 weeks, y'all. And I think 2 weeks ago we spent a lot of time talking about a subject that kind of made a turn and then now is just falling off the radar.
Well, yeah, I had totally, I spent days diving into
Yes.
that.
We're talking about the Kyren Lacy story.
Yeah.
Okay. Where we talked a couple of weeks ago that, the attorney showed up on Martin Fals's HTV and did his thing, and we were all stunned. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe what we just saw. And but then, shame on me, man. Shame on me, because I am the biggest cynic in the world. And how idiotic am I to sit here and watch one side of a conversation, and it's an attorney, right? So after our podcast, a couple, 3 days later, and we even heard that, in fact, our first friend Rick had told us that Louisiana police were going to they're standing by their story,
Right.
and blah, blah, blah. And we thought, there's no way in the world. And then they released footage, additional footage of the incident. That miraculously the attorney did not choose
Right.
to show
Yeah,
us.
just left that part out
And
in a 45-minute conversation.
so in the footage, you literally see the car of the unfortunately deceased Mr. Lacy, but flying by in the wrong lane at this, just leading up to the accident. Now, just leading up is a relative term, right?
Right.
So they're saying, oh, he was back in his lane I think he said like what was the lawyer? He said it like 100 times, like 1.96
I
seconds or
think,
something.
yeah, so 90 something yards, I think, or 91 yards, or to 78, which you can travel in about 2 seconds
I got
going
news for you,
that
y'all.
speed.
88 miles an hour.
Yeah.
88
Yeah.
mile.
This is the only thing that throws me off on that is it's where do you, you know, I think there's multiple people to blame. I still don't understand why the person, you know, because the first car coming stopped. That's the guy who said he was doing 28 miles an hour and stopped without hitting the
Yeah,
brakes.
but didn't he? I think he pulled off the road,
He
didn't he?
pulled, but still, no, because I don't know. But then a car stopped. The girl who changed lanes did so to avoid hitting the car in the front of her.
Right, right.
So she was obviously tailgating. I don't know. It's a
That's what's
sad
annoying.
situation
That's
all
why you
around.
know that there's a lot of lies going on because the story should be cleaner than it is, right? We should
Right.
know. And nobody's really given that. Now, the other thing, and again, those of you that have forgotten this thing, and the footage, we all saw the footage of the young trooper that went to get a statement, and
Hmm.
obviously, clearly, was sort of leading. Not
Right.
sort of. He was
Yes.
leading. He was
He fed
leading,
the guy what he said. What you need to say
but
is this.
But to put more context on that was the other footage where they showed the witnesses at the scene. So the witnesses at the scene, and oh, by the way, the main witness doing the talking wasn't a white guy.
Right. Right. And he's the
Okay.
one who said you got to find that guy in a green car.
Correct. So listening to what the cops heard at the scene, and they describe they basically again the eyewitnesses at the scene who did not leave the scene told a story, and you can make this all you want.
Right.
Like I said, the guy that told the main thing was not a white dude, so he said what he said. All right.
I think the biggest thing is, and I blame the lawyer, um, is you drug up something to basically make it sound like Kyren Lacy, you know, killed himself because of actions of the police,
Right.
and that he was totally, no level of blame in the accident. And he framed it and framed the video. And then you give the guy's family that sense where you brought this up again. And now they're like, okay, see, we told you we knew he wouldn't have done that. And then 2 days later, it's like, well, I think he did.
So there, and I said that before. I don't think there's any heroes here, but you got to understand something too. The guy, the witness, the old dude, he left the scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason that the cop had to go find this guy at his house is because this dude left the scene. This dude was an eyewitness to exactly what happened, if not involved, because nobody
Right.
hit him and he didn't hit anybody. But that guy left.
You
Okay,
got to wonder why.
well, I don't know. They give it. I don't believe anybody for anything. But so I just my whole thing on it is, look, it was tragic. The young man made a very bad decision. I think it was fair to say he had at least some.
Oh yeah, he has some cause to it.
I
And,
mean, look,
I don't know how you did. How did you apply a degree of blame?
you can't watch that video. You can't watch
Right.
that video of that vehicle flying, doing 88 miles an hour. And y'all, we're not talking 88 miles an hour on I-10. We're talking 88 miles an hour on like a
The
city
Chack
street.
Bay Road
Yeah.
basically through, like, originally I thought it was on a stretch where there were no houses, no anything, just a straightaway road.
No, this was, man.
It was where there were multiple businesses that had, because that's where the footage came from.
That's right.
Yeah, multiple business security cameras. So yeah,
An extremely dangerous place to be doing that. So the point is this, y'all: tragedy all around. What happened after? You hurt for the mental situation that would cause that with the poor young man. So there's no, there was a mistake, right? I would say, I would look at it that way. Somebody made a mistake. It was not going to be, and it was a mistake that there'd have been some repercussions, but the young man had a promise in life. He was going to play. He was going to And not that playing in the league, going to the NFL is the, that's the greatest thing in life. But he was, you know, I think he was going to be okay.
Yeah, he had a future.
Yeah, I think it was going to be okay. But then but man, listen. But it's a lesson in y'all. People are wolves, man. Packs of wolves, and but when there's people jump on because we know some people we saw on. We've even shared like videos, and again, we're old people that shows up on Facebook. This one might have been man calling out the cops by name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were doxing that dude.
Oh, like doing this kind of stuff, and then ESPN's resident racist Ryan Clark. Man, that guy. I feel so. Years ago, I really liked him. First couple times I saw him on ESPN, Ryan Clark, I thought he was kind of funny. He kind of played a little bit of a clown and everything. And then
I told you, I interviewed that guy.
Yeah, you had the opportunity to interview him.
and I had to ask other people to leave the room because it was crowded, and it was a big room, and there was only like 3 other people in there. But his ego tended to overfill.
Yeah. So Ryan Clark figured out to make a career acting the fool, and then later on, especially with ESPN, his go-to move is basically to accuse everybody of racism.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it exists or not, here's the deal. I'm not saying it doesn't sometimes, but when everything is, then
Right.
no, I'm sorry, I just really can't pay attention to you because regardless if it is or not, it's not. But he came out on Monday Night Football on Scott Van Pelt's show, and I don't know that Van Pelt knew that was coming, but Ryan Clark just basically on the HTV on the Martin Falls video and by
Right.
the
He
lawyer.
said that the cops were at fault for Kyren Lacy's death.
Well, lo and behold, a couple 3 days later, after the Louisiana police released their stuff, Mr. Clark has to show back up on TV and it was a lawyer written apology is what that
Oh
was.
God, yeah, they all are. Because trust me, they're not letting you go on your own volition at that point.
Yeah. So again, the thing to me is all of a sudden everybody's quiet on all this stuff. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see, who's vindicated, who's not. But
Yeah, it's the people fanning flames until there's no flames left to fan, I guess.
well, now while we're talking in the periphery of LSU football, how about them Tigers?
Dude,
Oh man.
they are so bad. And Brian Kelly's got like a 50-something million dollar payout.
Well, he has to go. He has to.
Right. They'll look for
But you know
big
what?
money supporters of LSU.
Yeah, but you get burned after a while, man. LSU's got deep pockets, but LSU is not like
LSU's not Texas A&M.
no, and they're not Oregon with
Right.
Nike. They're not. So yeah, you can only cut so many go away checks. They probably still ticked off about the $14 million they paid Ed.
Right.
Who
So
apparently had to turn a big chunk of that over to his
right to his ex-wife. So
but
it's the dude was never a good fit. This is the 4th year. They're not gonna make the playoffs. Next week they play Texas A&M. They've got a bye, and then they play Alabama.
then they play A&M at home, right?
Yeah,
And they play Alabama on the road.
play Alabama on the road.
Yeah, Alabama's
Oh
gonna
no, yeah, A&M.
Alabama's gonna motorboat them, man. They're gonna kill. I mean,
Oh.
but here's the deal. And if it's in my imagination, and I don't want this to sound mean. It's gonna sound mean. Was Nussmeier crying after the game?
I don't know. Everybody kept showing his I've seen clips of his reaction.
He's on the bench, and somebody, I don't know if it's a coach or somebody, sort of like head to head with him. He's got towel over his head. But here's the deal. And I think he's a fine young man. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Right.
Because the other thing somebody's telling me is I think he's making $3 million this year.
Oh yeah. It's LSU's got. I think the total NIL payout on the football team is 18 million.
Okay, so here's the deal, y'all.
Which I think is third highest in the. It might be third highest in the NCAA, or maybe third highest in the.
You can't pull these leave the kids.
Might be
alone.
third highest in the SEC.
You can't pull this leave the kids alone crap anymore. You want to show me who's the starting quarterback for Division III somewhere, and they blow. Hey, fine. And even then, any game where it's legal to bet on, that's another animal we got going on right now too.
Well, here. You want to know how valuable it is to be a quarterback in a Division I school or like an SEC school. So Diego Pavia, or however, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name.
That's the Vanderbilt guy.
Quarterback for Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
This is his 7th year in college
His
as a
7th year.
quarterback. I think one of those years were in junior college, and I'm sure one was a COVID year. He sued the NCAA to be able to stay and play.
Well, paid off.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he's making this year, but I guarantee he's making.
He's making some money.
Well, and that's the other thing too. And look, we're not Nostradamus, but we did call it. I said it 3 years ago. We were doing this podcast that college football is a train wreck now, and it's getting worse. It's not fun. It's boring, y'all. I'm telling you, college football now, parity has arrived. It's boring, all right? And some things are being.
No, but look how many top 10 teams lost yesterday.
Because here's what's always happened, man. You've had some schools, and Vanderbilt was one of them, going back to the day, and a few others that were they were stricter about not cheating.
Right. Vanderbilt's a private school. They don't have that public funding and
right.
Yeah, they've got their football stadium's like 35,000.
Okay. But so and now you don't develop any of these players. Because if somebody's a star, if they're really, really good, they're leaving as soon as they can possibly get out.
Mm-hmm.
If they're good but they're not ready yet, they don't play, they transfer. So that's the other thing too. Every year, you're starting with the big programs are starting basically from scratch. It's not like.
Well, I read that at Colorado this week, Deion Sanders had a scrimmage game among the non-starters, so they could put it on film.
Put it on tape.
So because he's gonna boot a couple, I guess a number of those guys, and say, hey man, just want you to have something.
Don't even hate him for that. I mean, I think Deion has turned into the most overrated coach.
Oh yeah, Lord, and everybody, he ought to go to Penn State.
But on stuff like that, I give him credit. Because he's not playing. He knows exactly what's going on. It. Like the best thing he can do for some of these young men is I'm gonna give you the opportunity to put some stuff on tape. So hopefully somebody else can go and but yeah, it is a mess. And look, we deserve it. I say we.
But it's both. It's a double-edged sword because it's NIL money and the portal. So players have no allegiance to the school anymore, and coaches have no allegiance to the players.
And it's gambling. It's and gambling because now it's all the point spread. Like I'm watching clips all the time of guys like Dave Portnoy and they're all like these games, these college games late in the game when this. Well,
let me tell you something, dude. I lost money on Ole Miss yesterday because I bet them. The spread was 7.5 against Georgia, so I bet them to cover, and they lost by 8. So I lost.
Vegas is basically undefeated or whatever that's I don't do that. I don't play that, but
I know. I mean, it's like $20, I bet. So, and I'm playing with house money.
All right. So jumping around because we got about 20 minutes left here. Couple things. I went for the first time, I guess since the last time, which makes sense. To the movies.
Wow.
So I went to the movies on Friday. My wife wanted to go. She put in there, to go see Angel Studios.
Okay.
So my thing to her now.
Can't you just stream those movies?
Maybe, but they get money if you go see it in the cinema and support it, and she wants to support them, and I'm like, you already bought the ticket. We don't have to go. But it was Angel Studios. I went to see a movie called what was it called? Movies. Truth or Treason, based on a true story, which means it's probably 6% true. I mean, everything's been made up. Angel Studios, I guess, is
it's a Christian or faith. I can't say that
faith-based. Yeah, they specialize in making very slow-moving, pretty boring movies. If you're really into the subject, maybe you can hang in there. But watching an Angel Studio movie makes me realize how hard it is to make good movies. They're shot well. They're visually okay. The stories are and this one should have been a young guy had started putting out flyers protesting Hitler and man, it I don't know. So I'm glad Angel Studios got my money. So whatever, I'll support them that way. Tom Cruise kept cinemas open a couple years ago with Maverick, and they need him again because man, there are few things more depressing now than going to a movie
No, I wouldn't
theater.
even know, and I enjoy the
One,
whole cinema
one,
experience.
it's dead.
But
But
now the one that's it's really there's independent theater just like I don't know, probably 2 miles from my house. Um, and I've been tempted a number of times because I know you can go there without buying tickets and just go get popcorn to go. And I said,
okay,
all right, I'm gonna watch something at my house. I'll go get me some movie popcorn.
that might make it. Although I even took a picture of I'd been at theater in a while, and I don't want to make this sound mean, but it sounds mean. The personnel working in the movie theaters now leaves a little bit like if you'd have told me that everybody there started that morning, right?
Without training.
If you'd have told me that,
Had never been to a movie
or
theater in
that,
their lives.
or that most of these people were on some kind of work release, okay, man,
Picked up trash earlier in the day.
dude, it was not the most engaged group, and then to be able to take a very small crowd anyway and still make it slow to get concessions, right? But then we got what we got, and then I like popcorn. That's it. I'm a popcorn guy. I'll eat a freaking 2 gallon bucket. I mean, I'm a
Right.
popcorn guy. But I looked at, and I don't know why I paid attention. You add your own butter now, right? You can add your own. Now they call it. It's like butter flavoring. If they're gonna, they don't. I think by law they can't call it butter. And I'm watching some people, dude, bathing their popcorn in this fluorescent yellow chemical.
Yeah, and you're basically bathing the top because it's not dripping down to the bottom.
Oh, they're shaking it. There, you can tell the hardcore. And I'm just like, oh, I can feel my arteries hardening watching you
Yeah.
pour this
Yeah, because
stuff.
then you eat that and then your hands feel like it's like that's not butter.
So it's just, I'm like, well, but hey, God bless America. So we go in there, and this cinema, and this is an AMC cinema. It's not. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but it's I guess they've refurbished it over the
Yeah,
years.
there's like 40 seats in one now.
Yeah, right. And you got the supposedly the nice seats, right? You sit in them and there's the recliner and everything.
Hmm.
So I'm on the aisle. I always want my seat on the aisle because I'm gonna pee. Well, not in the seat, but I'm gonna get up. And so I recline my chair. Feet comes out, goes back, stuck. Won't move after that. I got my phone out, flashlight, trying to figure out freaking chair is just.
See, I can't ever figure out once I got it up. It's like I don't know what the buttons don't work
I did. Well,
intuitively.
this one was just broken. I could tell pressing it that it wasn't. So then I'm like sort of laying back in a position I don't really want to be in for the now granted I could have grabbed another seat, but I was with my wife. I just grinned, but I'm thinking this is appropriate for the movie experience now, right? And that's the other thing too. The only thing that used to drive some people to, because now our own TV, our flat screens, and if you're a true cinephile and you like watching movies and you like my brother-in-law is that way. He has he does the speakers and he almost recreates a cinema type atmosphere. He likes that. I don't care enough to do that.
No,
That
I'm not, I don't need it to be,
I don't need surround
3D
sound.
surround sound.
I'm okay. But it used to be that, oh, you want that experience, and then you want the experience of seeing it with the crowd. But then you go to the movies and you realize, I don't want to be with this crowd. Like, like if you let me do a list of the people I least want to be
Right.
in a room with, that's the row behind me. Right? That's
Well, and what I've done, and again, it might have been Top Gun since I've been. I think we went to see something else. But now you get to pick your seats in advance if you buy your tickets online. And if there's somebody sitting on the same row, like, all right, I'm not sitting there.
yeah, you can do well. The movies are so thinly attended now.
Right.
My thing was we pull into this, and again, it's an AMC theater. There must be 20 something or so, theaters in there. Dude, the parking lot is so damn big. And I was telling my wife, it's like, they used to need this parking.
Right. There's an theater, AMC theater in the opposite direction. And the parking lot basically parallels the interstate.
Oh,
And you'd park. I've parked down over there
I mean,
before.
I want
Now
to
they
say,
can just sell that property.
oh my gosh, I want to say you could put an HEB or a Walmart
Right.
on that, just on the parking lot, piece of it. So that at some point, you got to say, okay, guys, how is this open? That's my thing. It's like, how is it possible?
Right. Because it's the same thing. You sit down and you look at it. The movie theaters are small. There may be, if it's a good movie at a good time, there may be a dozen people in there. And that's it.
I said when Top Gun,
Yeah.
Maverick came out, and I guess maybe some of the Mission Impossible. Like I said, there's that. So, and that's the thing is like really at this point, who else would bring who would bring a crowd to so Tom Cruise is about the only draw, and even that's kind of iffy. And then after that, it would have to be maybe like a John Wick. If they did a 5,
Yeah, I was gonna
you'd
say
probably see
Keanu,
that. Maybe. But now after number 4, I don't know that I'd go see number 5 in the theater. Maybe Tarantino. I think that he's doing like Cliff Booth. It's like a follow up
Yeah, I
to.
guess if you had like some of those movies like stuff I'd never go see, like Lord of the Rings
Yeah,
type
yeah.
stuff and Harry Potter stuff, maybe. But, if it's those type of book series.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess. Well, I guess yeah. If they ever got together and did a Harry Potter, that would. But again, the cinemas would be closed by then. I mean, like I said, I
Okay.
literally don't. I cannot see how. I'm walking around thinking, man, this real estate, this property, these buildings. There's no way nobody's making money here,
Mm-mm.
and it's the kind of thing. It's like you would hope that the experience would be like you'd be there and going, oh, I got to do this some more. Like that's what it should be. Like, oh man, I miss coming to the movies, dude. The whole time I was there, I was like, man, I am
Well,
never.
because remember, you always had to get there early to make sure you saw the previews, so you wanted to see what you're going to go see next.
And now you walk in 20, 25 minutes after the start time's supposed to
Yeah.
be, and that way you only see about 10 minutes
Hmm.
of
You
things. But
missed the little movie quizzes because that's what they got to fill in with, and
it's bad. Yeah, well, even that, right? There's not enough movies to promote. There are not enough
yeah.
new movies coming out to promote. Thought about it's funny. I was one of the things. So since we were on, and that's what happened this past weekend. We got crossed-eyed to leave on a Sunday, and meanwhile I had a hard time coordinating. But I went to Minnesota, and so a long day of travel. Get out there because those of you that don't have a globe in front of you, Minnesota's not close. It's up their way. So fly up there, land, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm staying out in some little town outside of Minneapolis. And I wasn't staying in Minneapolis. I was staying, wherever. I hadn't eaten all day. I'm like, ah, man, let me find something. I said, really, I basically want a beer in anything. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I more want a beer than I need dinner, but I didn't eat it all. So I'm just going to find a little town. I'm fine. And I found a place called the Muddy Cow. And I'm thinking with a name like that, it's either got to be kind of cool or horrible, but whatever. And it wasn't even easy to find. Finally find the quote unquote Muddy Cow. And I walk in there, and football games are coming on. So, or maybe it was probably the late afternoon game, or maybe getting ready to start the Sunday night game. I forget. And apparently that's the big to do in, where was I? Not Sheboygan. Forget the name of the place I was at. I couldn't even say the name of the town.
Sheboygan?
No, it wasn't Sheboygan. It was because I remember I said it the next day and the group kind of laughed and they said, like I said it wrong. And I'm like, hey, let me throw some Louisiana names in front of y'all. So, don't be laughing at me, man.
Yeah, booty.
I'm looking around the room, dude.
Does almonds.
You'd have sworn I was in Alabama. I got news for you, man. Minnesota, it's like Minnesota, like Minneapolis. That's another country. Minneapolis, dude, I'm telling you. All you've heard about what has happened to the Minnesota, yes, you go to the Minneapolis airport, bro, you don't know what country you're in, but you can't believe you in the Midwest or whatever, right? But this little town, and I'm looking, and it's family is pretty packed. The Muddy Cow, and the bartender guy, I think I said this before. When I was younger, I'd go to restaurants because I eat a lot by myself because I travel by myself. And I used to never want to sit at the bar. As well as part of that too is when people used to smoke. You never wanted to sit while people smoking, but that hasn't been that way for decades. But I always thought it'd be so depressing to sit at the bar and eat. Who wants to eat sitting at the bar? So I'd always get my own little freaking table, and I'd sit there, and half the time I'm aggravating, waiting for a waiter or a waitress. Now, bro, my move is I go sit at the bar. I mean, I walk up there in a muddy cow and whatever this little town is in Minnesota. I got this husband and wife sitting next to me. They're probably, I'm going to guess they're in their mid 70s. They're playing some kind of pull tab game, whatever the pull tab. It reminded me of my old bingo days. They got big stacks and they're pulling them and they got a big bucket and they're throwing the bad ones away and keeping the good ones. And then
If I using the winnings to buy more.
Correct. So, bro, they sat on the side of me for 45 minutes. I don't know how much money they had invested in this, but they were having a grand old time right off to the side of me playing these pull tabs and big old family. The place was packed. And so the bartender comes over and a good guy, young guy, and I like when somebody's good at their job. He was good at his job, very, very friendly. And I said, yeah, man, I said, I know I'm going to eat something. I don't know what, but I just take a beer. What do you got? And he gives me one to taste. And I'm like, you don't normally get that. Like, guys, hey, try this one, try this one. Forget what I get. So I said, give me whatever beer. I'm on my phone. I'm doing whatever. I look up. He puts 2 beers in front of me. And I'm like, did I stutter? Like, what? He goes, no, man, it's 2 for 1. And I smile and says, does that mean I have to have 2? Like, what?
And at the same time?
Exactly. That was my point. Like, you couldn't, but no, he just put 2 draft beers in front of me. So I went, well, you just took my, am I going to have 1 or 2 decision away? I guess now it's going to end up being, will I have 2 or 4?
All right.
But
I'm going to have one quick so I can get to the second one while it's still cold.
We stayed with 2. And then I had fried onion rings and cheese curds. You ever had cheese curds?
I don't even know what cheese curds are. I mean, I've heard of them. And
I don't feel stupid
Minnesota
because
thing.
I know I've had them. I actually had them at Lambeau Field one time. They brought me. I had it, and I forgot what they were. But basically, it's just fried cheese, a different version of fried cheese, and they weren't bad,
the word curds just doesn't sound appetizing.
So that's the glamour of traveling, y'all. I am eating dinner at the bar at the Muddy Cow with a senior citizen couple next to me playing pull tabs with 2 beers, fried onion rings, and a big thing of cheese curds, which I didn't feel for 2 days later. I paid the price 2 days later.
Well,
I paid the price. Tell me what happened to you last week. It's almost time to get out of here, but y'all got to listen to Juan's story.
It was weird because the day we were supposed to record, I just felt really bad. So I have never in my life, at 63 years old, never in my life had a nosebleed. I've been punched in the nose multiple times and never had a nosebleed.
Seriously, okay, I was going to say, haven't you ever had?
Tuesday morning, got up. Yeah, I take a bath instead of a shower. Got out the tub. And as I'm drying myself off, I hear something splatting on the floor. And I look, and it's just blood all over the place. My nose wasn't just bleeding. Well, you see on TV, it just like drips down to your lip. I'm gushing blood. And so now it's like, well, gosh, okay, I'm trying to clean up the blood, trying to clean up myself, and it just keeps on coming. And so had you
blown your nose?
No.
Didn't blow your nose.
So
didn't pick your nose.
No.
Well, no. Okay, well, I'm doing an investigation here. Why'd you take a bath?
Because I take a bath every day.
I thought you said when you made it sound like you would normally take a shower.
No, I always take a bath. I like to sit in a hot tub.
Oh my, really?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Gross. All right.
So now I grab Kleenex, and that's I'm soaking through that in a matter of seconds. So I always thought you pinched it and held it back.
What'd they tell you?
Well, that's what they used to tell you. So now I pinch it and hold it back. This is gross, but now it starts to come out of my mouth.
Oh, you're swallowing it. It's going down the back of your throat.
It's coming from my sinuses as opposed to my nose.
Juan. Now I'm curious.
So then Joey was off that day, so I was trying to be. I said I need some help because literally I'm bleeding all over the place. I got a full size bath towel that I'm bleeding through. Then she's looking up, all this stuff, and it's like, oh, you're supposed to pinch your nose and lean your head forward for 20 minutes. And I'm like, 20 minutes? That seems like forever. So I do it, and it's saying, if your nose bleeds because it's like now going on 40 minutes. And it says, oh, you need to go to the emergency room. And I said, I'm not freaking going in the emergency room. I said, I'll go to, an after hours clinic or
Right.
whatever, the doc in the box thing. But so I hold it, and then it's like I could just feel like my nose felt like I was stuffed up to no end. It kind of squeezed it and
Hmm.
got the rest of it out. Then that was it. Done. And so I sent my doctor a note that morning, and she said, if your nose bleeds for 40 minutes, you need to seek immediate help. And if you're feeling, like out of breath or chest pain or whatever, you need to go to the doctor, or if it starts bleeding again.
Okay.
And so now I'm starting to think they think I threw like a blood clot,
Mm.
which would be, chest pain and stuff like that. And so that afternoon, I sent her a note. I said, I'm really tired. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess because I lost a bunch of
Loss of
blood.
blood. Loss of blood, bro.
And I said, but it's not bleeding anymore. But I I think I ought to come in and get it checked out. And they said me, nah, if it's not bleeding, you're fine. So I'm still alive, and I didn't go to the doctor.
So you had a massive nosebleed
Like
that
through three bath towels,
that lasted for 30 minutes or more,
30, 40 minutes. Yeah.
and the doctor ends up saying,
Hey, I.
"Yeah, okay. You know
So
what?
if I'm not here next week, it's been great,
You
guys.
didn't tell me that. You just said you weren't feeling good when Oh, hang on a sec, man. You finished bleeding way before we could have done the
But I
podcast.
was like dead tired all day.
But you know how cool it would have been to spend an hour talking about how woozy you were from loss
Yeah.
of blood. Man, look, I totally get it, dude. I, and we can put ourselves in denial, like, and you know what? Maybe it is like what stuff happens. That's what I say this all the time about like modern medicine and how we're so hypersensitive about certain things. And don't get me wrong, certain things are great. Some of the advances they made in medicine, the way we treat certain things,
Hmm.
it's just so much better. But dude, our ancestors, suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
Like, you know, bro, walk. I mean, I've been bleeding out my ear all day. Stick a rag in there.
Get a cotton ball, bro.
Stick a rag in there. Put some mercurochrome on that. You know, maybe some Vic salve.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The big salve will make it burn, and it'll hold it all in there.
Worst case scenario, I'm gonna go get some banana leaves. We're gonna make some crosses in some
Yeah.
potatoes. We're good. We'll get you fixed up, man. Well, Juan, we're glad you were able to
Yeah.
stop
The
the.
worst thing was that I also bled on my leather recliner, and I was worried that it was going to be stained. So that's when I had to wake up Joe. I said, "You had to come clean my chair."
No, man, yeah. The joys of getting older, bro.
Yeah.
You spring leaks, right? Spring leaks. I don't know. I was thinking about that. I went for a walk a while ago, and I was all right, but I was doing stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of talking and saying things, whatever. And I caught myself. I got a little winded, and I'm thinking, man, there's a time in my life I'd be so embarrassed that I'm just basically walking. You know,
Dude.
I'm basically walking and I'm talking or singing or doing what I'm doing, and I went, wait a minute, I got myself out of breath walking.
Look, when I worked for the wholesale company, and when I went on the interview, the guy that hired me walked lightning fast, and he's showing me all around, which means we're going up and down stairs multiple times. And I'm sitting there saying, I don't even know if I can take this job. If I got to follow this dude around, it's gonna kill me.
How much sitting is allowed on this job? I didn't really see that in the application. It's a non-negotiable for me.
Hmm.
I require this job to, allow me to 80% of the time I expect
Sitting comfortably. Uh, I
on my
have a girl, and I
buttocks.
started to talk about this, last time, who I'm her supervisor, and apparently, she believes that work time is based on, wake up time
Yeah.
randomly. It's like, okay, today I'm gonna come in at 7:15 because I got here early. I mean, I woke up early. I slept better today, so I'll show up at 9:30. Um, but she also has back issues.
Oh
So
boy.
the girl basically lays down in a chair or reclines a normal desk chair to a position that I didn't know a desk chair could recline to. And one, she broke one a couple of weeks ago, and I said, I'm surprised it's only breaking now.
Hey man, it wasn't our we didn't again as old guys, you wouldn't even admitted you were hurt back in the day.
No, no.
Not around the places I worked. That get you in more trouble.
Right.
First of all, nobody cared. Nobody cared. Oh, you got a bad back? Go carry that box. I mean, help you.
Yeah,
Help
lay
you
on
out.
the floor. Here's a plank.
Jeez, man. Anyway, you know what, man? Believe it or not, an hour flies when you
Quick
don't know
hour,
what you're
bro.
doing. There
Quick
you go,
hour.
man. It's quick. It's all out. The buffet has been laid before you, America. We're going to push the button, get on out of here, see if any of this stuff stuck to the magic tape up in the sky. If you want to reach us, it's the same old, y'all. Dave and Juan at protonmail.com, or
And wherever you are, bloody nose and all.
you did it before. Yeah, send in recommendations to Juan. Next time hopefully you don't have that happen again. That's a good thing. I could hear splashing. Normally, if you're hearing splashing and it's a bodily fluid, you ought to be peeing on the floor, bro.
Right, right.
That's missing. That's when you got bad aim. Not shouldn't be causing the iron
And especially
deficiency.
just standing there by the tub.
All right. Hey, every week we tell y'all it's not a hint,
Nope.
suggestion. It's not a little implication, y'all. It's a
It's
freaking
a freaking mandate, bro.
live your best life. Live your best life. Get out there and do it. Every day is a new day. Nothing's guaranteed, right? Yesterday may have been a great day. You can't coast.
Right.
Don't think just because you had a good day yesterday, today's got to be a good day.
If you had a bad day today because somebody who you knew 40 years ago posted something on Facebook that you didn't find enjoyable
That's right.
or you found offensive, tomorrow just scroll on by.
Scroll on by. Scroll on by. Don't take criticism from people who you wouldn't take praise or something like that. If you're not,
That's exactly it.
that's not one of those things, right? How often we try to impress or we worry about what people that we don't really like think, right? Or like, I don't respect you. I think you're an idiot. Why am I upset by something you said? That's what an idiot's supposed to say,
Yeah.
right? On brand. That's on brand. When certain idiots, jerks, and couillons choose, they're on brand. That's what they're supposed to do, right? All right. Anyway. I digress. So everybody, have a fantastic week. We hope to do as well. And I am traveling next Sunday, so we'll try to do it earlier and we'll figure. Hopefully, I will be able to get this done before I got to go to Arizona and Juan's not going to be bleeding. So
Nope. Bled out.
we try to work it out. Until then, everybody, have a fantastic one. Love you, bro.
Back at you, dude. So last week, I went, Riley had just a quick, like I don't know, early season swim meet. And Joey was out of town for the weekend, visiting her daughter in South Carolina. So I drove up and drove back on the same day. Yeah, no big deal. Swim meet's like at 10 in the morning. There's another session at 2.
That's a good drive.
But anyway, so I'm there and I'm trying to, it's actually at Rice. I'm talking to people, just trying to, I don't know, make random conversations with people. And so it's a family, Rice, Houston, and TCU. But some people in TCU, and I know a girl or a friend of Riley's from here. that swam for TCU. She's graduated. So I just asked, what year are y'all in at TCU? Maybe I know this girl I know. And they said, oh, where? My daughter's actually a freshman. And I said, oh, wow, okay. Where are you from? And they said, Israel. And I said, oh, like, you moved here from Israel? I said, no, we're on break for 2 weeks. So we are here. We live in Israel. And this was last weekend when all of the peace stuff was going on. So I said, oh, wow. What are you feeling now? Are you in a celebratory space? And they said, well, we're really thrilled. But, it's still some
Right.
caution in there because, yeah, it is what it is. And so then I said, well, I'm not really familiar with the geography or where the map of Israel, other than, that part. What part of Israel are you from? And I'm thinking they're going to tell me, oh, the north or the south or near where they're fighting. But they said some city. Yeah, I don't know any cities other than Bethlehem in Israel. So I said, were you close to the fighting? And they said, well, not particularly, but we did hear, there were bomb raids or sirens 3 or 4 times, that would wake us up during the night. And I just reacted, oh my Jesus. And then it hit me. I said, all right, that's not a good thing to say to these people from Israel, who are, fighting because they're Jewish. But
Hey.
yes, I just rolled on and kept going. And I said, well, I could have said the only place that I knew in Israel was Bethlehem, where my Lord and Savior and Messiah, Jesus Christ, was born.
It's over. Go home.